All right. See if this thing working. Hey, there we go. Late night charting session, man. We're gonna get started in just a second here. Let me know if the audio. Let me know if the audio is good. Late night chart session, man. We finna get started in just a second here. I give a couple more people a chance to get on. I got some plays, bro, that I think are going to take off at least for a little bit. Um, I got some very, very nice plays, man. We're gonna go from scratch. I'll show you guys how I prepare for the trading day. All of the hard work really comes at night, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to prepare, how to find plays. I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. All right, cool. We're going to get started. Make sure you guys share this with somebody who may need some help. Share this with somebody, please. All right. Let's first start with SPY. You always want to start with SPY, okay? Start with SPY because it kind of gives you a overall view of what you expect the market to do. Um, Always start with SPY and notice where you are. First thing I like to do is see my setup, right? So we know that the trend right now is still bullish. You know, could we be able to flip soon? Possibly, but the trend is still bullish right now, okay? Now, you have to find your levels, okay? And you don't have to go through and find every single one. You need to find the ones that are relevant to where you are now. All right? So as of right now, this is relevant because this is the low that we are near right now. All right? So this place right here that we bounced at today again, right? So right around here we bounced. This place here last time was this was the bottom, right? So this one spot here is telling us we are either going to bounce here, or if we break below, we're gonna start coming down. All right. And if we start coming down, you have to find out where are you going next. All right. So to find that out, all you do is get your horizontal line, however you have it set up, and start finding the next places. All right. So the next quote unquote bottom that I see here is in between. I probably would make this a little box, to be honest with you. Let me see. I don't know how that popped up. I would probably make this a little box. I would say anywhere up in here. Anywhere up in here. Because you do have this wick right here, but you do have some more down here that you kind of need to test or take out, whatever it's going to do. So in between this 568 and 565, 565 being the lower level, 568 being the more so upper level, that's the next bounce place if it continues downward. But at this point, it would have to break the lows of today, right? So the lows of today, it held very, very well. You see it bounce super, super hard. So the lows of today was 572.3. You see we bounced at it once, twice, 3 times, right? So almost like a triple bottom almost down here that it bounced at the 572.3 area. So for more downside, you need to break below that. But if you do break below, of course, you want to start looking for 570 and under at that point. Okay. Now, if we so happen to come down, but we don't break lower, this could start to form a a higher low, right? So if we was to come down and not break lower and go back up again and break 585, 586, this would start to form a higher low, which could potentially start the uptrend back to the upside. Okay. Now, knowing that, we need to be prepared for both ways. Okay. So we're going to look for some plays that have potential to bounce, and we're also going to find some plays that have potential to continue to come down. All right, so I do have some plays in mind that I'm going to share with y'all. All of these plays are going to be plays that have, been beaten up, but they are in bounce areas. Okay, so let's start with Affirm, because I know I've been talking about that one for a couple of weeks. Affirm is one that I like, and I'm going to clear the entire chart here so I can show you guys. Affirm, I love this chart because, I shouldn't have deleted my trend line, but it's all good. I love this chart on Affirm because if you look here, we are very, very close. I'm going to line it up as perfect as I can. We are very, very close to being like a third touch here. So we was above here on this third touch, which I will point out to you guys. We was above this line here, but we got pushed down just a little bit with that end of the day sell-off, right? So we're very near the third touch of this trend line. Okay, now I also want to throw on my RSI because I want to be able to see if stocks have bullish divergence. Okay, so the thing about me, the way that I trade, I love to trade using chart patterns, right? So I use the most basic principles. I use candlesticks, chart patterns, support and resistance, things of that nature, right? So I use very, very, very simple things to trade. And the more of the basic things that can tell me that a stock is more than likely to do one thing than another, the better that the play is going to be. Okay? So as of right now, although Affirm is at this third touch, this daily candle is not that bullish right now, right? We would need to get back above around 60. We really need to get above 60 again to start looking good, in my opinion, right? But if Affirm does get back above 60, I think that this could be a very nice bounce play. Possibly take it back up to 66, 67 and kind of see where it goes from there. Affirm could be a very, very, very nice bounce play. This is the third touch of a trend line that's been holding since August, right? And then on the flip side of that, if it does continue downward, it's going to be ugly, obviously. Okay, so keep Affirm on your watch list. Check what it's doing around 60. 60 is the point that it needs to break. All right, so I'm going to pull up another stock here that I do like, and that is Palantir. So I really, really, really like Palantir. I think Palantir has a very nice opportunity to pop soon. So Palantir here is also on the third touch of this trend line, right? So it's on the third touch of its trend line that it's been holding for a while. And here on the daily, you see it was above this level here. So this 84.4 level is a previous key level from December as well as January, right? So we was above it, but with the market sell-off, ended up closing below. What you need to see from Palantir is you need to see it break. It has like a little bit of a downtrend going here, right? So like a diagonal channel sort of, right? So it needs to break out of this channel. So if it starts to break above 88.5, 89, it would possibly start to break out here. Now, also notice, I'm giving you guys what did I just do? I don't know what I just did, but okay. Also notice here that it has a setup called bullish divergence, right? So bullish divergence is when the stock price is making lower lows, but the RSI is making higher lows, right? So the lower, pretty much lower here, higher, higher, higher. All right. So the stock price is going lower, RSI is going higher, plus it's at the third touch of the support, right? So all you need is one good pop to make some money on this. I'm not gonna lie to you. You just need one good pop. All right. So I'll be watching this. If it gets above like 88.5, 89, you could see a push up to possibly come test this up here around 92, right? So 92, 93 is where you would kind of possibly look for that to start to push above. Okay, so that will be a nice move. And we did bank on that swing 40% overnight. Well, over the weekend more so, but yeah. So Palantir is also a decent one here. Has a couple very nice setups right here, and it's near support. So it's retesting support. Has the third touch, and it has bullish divergence. So looks really, really good. This needs to be one of the top stocks that you're watching for a bounce for sure. Okay. Let's talk about another one. Another stock that has been beat down. I wish I would have got in this earlier. I did not even see this. But Amazon, right? So Amazon, this is the old breakout level right here. Right here around 200. This is the old breakout level for Amazon. You can see right here and right here, it was a resistance. It broke out, came back down, retested, and broke above. Now it's down here again, right? But also notice, we also just bounced at the 200 MA. Okay? So we also just bounced at our 200 daily moving average. Now, as far as a setup, I don't love it. Like, it doesn't have a specific place where I'm just like, okay, above here, you know, it's going. But this thing could just bounce simply for the fact that it is at the 200 MA. All right. So Amazon is another one that could be really good. Kind of just have to see how strong it is during the day. Think of another one here. Another one that I was watching is FSLR. So FSLR, if you look here on a daily, is at a level that we haven't been to since November of 2023. Okay? So we're at a level that we haven't been to in a couple of calendar years. And if you look here, we actually closed above it today, right? So FSLR, if it continues to be strong, you can look for calls here. All right? And also notice that the RSI is very low, right? So the RSI is still below 30, right at 30 right here. All right? So FSLR could be a really good bounce play. Could be a really nice bounce. I am watching that one as well. So especially if it gets above today's high, 135, 136, that's a bit far away. It's a bit far away. But I definitely think you can catch it. You can catch it on a pop for sure. FSLR, keep that one on your watch list. Another one. Having a brain fart. I had just had it pulled up. We'll look at Tesla first. So I gotta think of the other one. Tesla. So let me clear my chart. I'll clear my chart for y'all. So if you look right here on Tesla, this area around 270 is the breakout that started this crazy run. Okay? So this was the breakout that started this crazy run. So we're doing nothing but retesting the breakout. What you got to understand about charts is when you have crazy moves like this, it's going to go crazy when it comes back down in the same direction, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have stops in place because Tesla still has a gap to fill down at 219. Is it going to fill that? I don't know. But what I will say is this is the retest spot, okay? So Tesla could bounce hard here, or if Tesla fails, Tesla could continue to fill this gap that it has here down to 254. And who knows, at that point, we could continue to trickle down. So let's see. What do you think about Sophie? We'll take a look at it. Bearish on solar because Trump isn't bullish on solar. Interest rates are still high in tariffs now, and play renewables are at the mercy of tariffs and interest rates. Yeah, that's true. That is true, but that, it really wouldn't affect our trade because we're not gonna be in this long term. This just bounces, so it really wouldn't affect us like that. It really wouldn't affect us at all. All right, what else we got? What else do I have? So those are a few plays already. QQQ. This is one that you need to pay attention to as well. And that end of the day sell off kind of made things look a little bit different than what they were. But QQQ retested the 200 today. It has held so far. But if it does not hold, right? If it does not hold, let's say we have another sell off again tomorrow for some reason. If we have another sell off and it doesn't hold where it is, or the low of day from today, looks like you could continue to trickle down to the low 483s, and then you could get into 477. So it's gonna be interesting, man. Tech has just had a straight decline. Like, it's just been falling straight down. So I mean, it's been tough. It's been tough for sure. PLTR, yep, we already went over PLTR. We went over that one. That one looks good. Hood, what do I see here? Hood looks like it's just in a pullback. Hood is up crazy. See, I had Hood trying to play it way down here. So Hood looks okay. Looks like they retested this key level right here around 42.6 to 43. So they retested and bounced there. I seen Sophie. Somebody else said Sophie. SoFi, however. This one almost touched the 200 MA, but it had a very nice bounce as well. Hopefully it does come down a little more. You could probably catch it down here on a discount even more. So I think that looks pretty good. Nvidia just needs to, it needs to probably base out some. If it doesn't base, it's just going to look like QQQ. It's going to keep falling. It's going to keep falling, right? So you need to, Nvidia needs to just hold where it is. If it gets below 110, 111, it's going to be in trouble again. We actually traded Nvidia to the downside today, made some money on that. So that was good. Apple has no setup, not anything that I would play at all here. ACB, no setup. Boeing is falling off of a cliff. Boeing is falling hard. A lot of momentum coming down. 153, 154 is the next level. And if it doesn't hold that, it's getting uglier. Gonna get even uglier. You also have the Dow. The Dow did not hold its trend line this time. Broke down, and the 200 MA is a few ticks down at around 420. So the Dow is going to be very, very interesting. You got Google, who retested the 200 today as well, and got sold off like everything else in the market towards the end of the day. Meta is one that you probably want to watch. Meta right here is retesting the old resistance. So Meta is going to be interesting here as well. You got a nice pullback on it, man. You got a lot of nice pullbacks on these stocks. Of course you want to see them lower, but we'll see. Snow just kind of doing its own thing. Microsoft, I wouldn't watch it. DAL, MU. Tomorrow, you got Bitcoin. Bitcoin super volatile. Shopify. Okay. Now this is one that's pretty. This is one that's kind of interesting to me. So, Lyft could possibly. Stay with me now. Lyft could possibly be a inverse head and shoulders. Maybe. All right. Lyft could possibly be an inverse head and shoulders. Now, this probably would take forever to play out, to be honest with you, but the setup is definitely there. Okay. So Lyft, the setup for Lyft is definitely there for inverse head and shoulders. And if you look at the daily chart, take a look at our RSI versus our stop price. So our stop price is making lower lows. 1, 2, 3, 4 lower lows. Our RSI is continuing to make higher lows, right? So this is going to be very, very interesting. This could be a small account play, especially if we start to get above 13 again. So Lyft is interesting. Let's check. We'll look at DDOG, and then we'll look at CrowdStrike here. DDOG is another one that I talked about before that is still getting ready. All right, so if you look here, DDOG's first, second, third, fourth, pretty much on its fourth touch right here. So it's fighting at this trend line, right? And I also have a level at 113. This is a key level, and also 117.96 is also a level that I found on the 1 hour, but it's also a level from way back here. All right, so if we get above 118, I expect a very nice pop on DDOG. Now, DDOG does have some slight bullish divergence on the daily chart, but if you look at the 4 hour, you got some crazy bullish divergence on the 4 hour here for DDOG. So if DDOG happens to get above 118, yeah, it's going to get crazy. DDOG should get crazy above 118. Let's see some stocks that y'all said. Uber, I already know what they look like, but we'll talk about it anyway. Uber, I mean, I don't think you can really do much. Kind of in no man's land, to be honest with you. Uber's kind of in no man's land. Got rejected from this level right here again from March and April of last year. So can't really do a whole lot right now with Uber, to be honest with you, in my opinion. Let's see, Net. Another cybersecurity stock. So Net has had a pullback. That's nice. Not seeing a whole lot on it though. You just got a little pop today. Gonna be interesting to see. I don't see any setups though. A nice pop, but no setups. TEM. So this one has pulled back significantly. So hopefully you guys did not chase this thing when it was pumping. TEM has pulled back, and it does have a gap to fill down at 36. So is it going to fill it? I do not know. Don't know. TSM is right around the 200. Kind of rejected 200 a little bit today. Also around a very nice support. Okay, so this support at 177 is the place where it bounced last time. So you at this point you kind of just be looking for strength. You be looking for strength and more highs relative to where it is to take it to 190 plus. It's kind of what I'll be looking for. Also looks like it could. Let's see. Would love to see it kind of consolidate a little bit, maybe. Would love to see it consolidate. Say smash that like button. Nah, for real. For real, for real. Baba. Crazy, I actually drew this out. I drew this out like when Baba was like up here. So it's cool to see this thing playing out exactly how I thought. Baba is just cooling down, right? So it looks like it's, it's gearing up for the next move, what it looks like to me. Watch out for Baba. It's probably still getting ready. The RSI is still pretty high, but Baba looks pretty decent. Not ready yet, though. Definitely not ready yet. PayPal, man, PayPal is getting killed. Let's clear everything off. PayPal is actually getting to the place that it last bounced. So PayPal last bounced here, and that also seems to be a very key level apparently. So right around here is 67 to 68 area, 67 to 68. You see it was very tough right here for PayPal. Rejection, 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 rejection. Finally turned to support. Now it's kind of testing it again, and the RSI is below. Man, that RSI is low. RSI is like 22. So the RSI is crazy low. So you could really definitely look for a bounce probably here. At least some type of relief bounce. At least some type of relief bounce. So PayPal could be a decent one as well. That looks good. Okay, we talked about FSLR, XYZ. Sheesh. We gotta see some type of bounce in XYZ and PayPal sometime. I mean, they're just getting destroyed, man. We're talking about, as far as the highs, not the highs of all time, but relative to where we kind of are here, has come down 41%. So 41% decline in the stock. It's crazy. That's crazy. As far as a support, this one looks to be, it's probably near support here too. This was the last bounce right here. So it's right back there again. Also, this is also one that, I mean, I don't even think you can say bullish divergence. I mean, it just got destroyed. I wouldn't even say bullish divergence for that one. Not on a daily, at least. To see what the 4 hour looks like. The 4 hour. This is definitely divergence on the 4 hour though. 4 hour is definitely bullish divergence for sure. So these are some things that can really possibly have some upside. PayPal, XYZ, and this is not something that I would say you just be holding forever. These things that I'm showing y'all today are stocks that can possibly bounce, right? So it doesn't mean that these things are gonna go all the way back up. Like, I don't know, but I am telling you that you can catch some type of bounce on these stocks because they are just so low. Stocks are going to bounce at key levels, right? Whether that is a little bit or it's going to be a lot, they will bounce at key levels. That is a reason why these setups work. Okay. Even something like Nvidia. I mean, even at this point, Nvidia bounced. You know, Nvidia was down here at some key levels, and they ended up bouncing eventually. All right, so it doesn't mean that they're going to continue to go up. It could keep coming down, but I do expect the market to have some type of recovery, even if it's a dead cat bounce. Let's see. Y'all seeing some more tickers, man. We doing some studying tonight. It's a study night tonight, man. Showing you guys how I prepare for the plays. I literally come through like this, and I pick out the best ones. We have a lot of stocks that are, kind of look good for a bounce. We have a lot of those. We got a lot of those. You know what you guys traded today? Seeing some tickers. Let me know what y'all traded. Let's see. Look at some bank stocks. Let's see. BAC, which is Bank of America. Came down. Goldman Sachs. All right. JPM. Okay. So bank stocks are retracing. I see someone put SoundHound earlier. Sound is at the 200 MA, right? So they are at their 200. Let's see. No divergence, but they are at their 200 MA on the daily chart. So that could possibly be something. Could possibly be something if it gets strong, especially if it starts to break above 1150 again. You got a gap up to 14 at that point. That could be something. Let's see. Is this a setup right here? This might be a falling wedge. Let's see. This might be a falling wedge. Looks like it a little bit. Does look a little bit like a falling wedge, maybe. Could be a little bit of a falling wedge on Sound. I'll keep that on my radar. That looks pretty decent. But you definitely gonna have to get some you're gonna have to definitely get some momentum going for sure. See some more. BBAI has came down. These things have just been getting killed. Over 50% down. Let's see. You got BBAI. It's another smaller one. APLD. APLD is right back down. It was just over $12 not too long ago. They're back down under 7. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. See UPST. I see y'all in that UPST. Upstart. Let's see what they're doing. Upstart. Getting near the 200 MA. So I could possibly see an instance where it comes down a few more dollars. Retest that 200. I could see that. UPS. This looks kind of interesting to me. This looks kind of interesting. Look like it's in like a little channel, but it might be trying to break down. was definitely in a little channel here. Might be trying to break down what does FedEx look like. Oh yeah. So FedEx is also getting down to a support. So you would probably, for UPS to continue to go down, you would probably need FedEx to break 243.7. So you would need this to break for UPS to continue downward for sure. Let's see MCD. McDonald's kind of just consolidating. No play there until it breaks either direction. Home Depot. All right, now I did have a setup on this, but I didn't show it to anybody because earnings was like the next day. But earnings are over, so I'm gonna give you guys something that I'm watching. Home Depot. Does anybody know what this pattern is called that I have here? Does anybody know what pattern that is? Yep, it's a head and shoulders. This is a head and shoulders pattern. And Home Depot lost to 200, retested, and rejected. Okay, so Home Depot could get ugly, man, especially if it starts to break lows under 278. 278.5. It doesn't hold that. It starts to break lower. We could see some real downside on Home Depot. We could see some real downside on Home Depot. So definitely keep Home Depot on your radar. This is something that could definitely come down. You see, I got a level down at 358. That is quite a bit away from where it is now. And this might even like a little bear flag a little bit. Yeah, Home Depot could possibly keep trickling down. So Home Depot is definitely on watch. Yeah, I found one that I was kind of watching already. That's perfect. Watch Home Depot. GE. GE has fallen below a crucial support. They're fighting to get back above it now, so not sure what they're going to do, but they are trying to get back above. You do have a little bit, just a little bit of bullish divergence right here, but I wouldn't take it yet. Me personally, I wouldn't take it yet. Let's look at now, NOW. Now lost a little level that I thought that they'd hold. Yeah, I don't really see a play with it. I don't see a play with now. Let's look at C, which is Citigroup, right? So another bank. Citigroup here got destroyed. Nothing you can really say about it a whole lot. Kind of came down a lot today. We're down 6% today, so PNC. I've never heard of that one. What is that? Might be another bank or some type of financial sector stock, apparently. PNC. Same thing. I mean, they lost to 200. You could possibly see it bounce back up here and see if it retests. But they lost their 200. It's gonna be interesting. All right, so We see some stocks with some setups. We see some stocks that don't really have a setup. Now, what we're gonna do here is kind of look at the stocks that have setups that are ready, and we're going to find some potential entry points. All right, because we're looking at this from the daily, but you have to find places where you look to enter. Right. So let's take a look at some stuff. Starting off, let's start with some bullish bias type trades here. So you got PLTR, right? So I'm watching PLTR because PLTR was super strong before the sell-off. It was super strong before the market-wide sell-off, right? So a lot of bullish divergence. You want to see this thing continue upward now. I'm going to give you a risky entry, and I'm going to give you a conservative entry. A risky entry would be right here. Risky entry would be above 88.5, right? And I'm going to mark the level here. Risky entry is above 88.5 because if it breaks here, it will also be breaking this downward trend line. All right, so that's a risky entry. A more conservative one would definitely probably be up here, around 90.4, because at that point, I mean, you'd be breaking this trend line and you'd be breaking this, previous high right here. That would definitely be a more conservative entry, but you do risk rejection getting up in here as well. So I do like that. What should your RSI settings look like? I got mine on whatever the regular one is. I think it's fine. Mine is on the regular one. Whatever the default one is, that's what mine is on. I can't spell apparently. All right, so that would be a risky entry, 88.5. Conservative entry would be around 90.3. So yeah, that's gonna be on watch for me tomorrow for sure. Okay, another possible upside trade. We gotta look at the ones that are near the supports, right? So let's take a look at PayPal. PayPal right at this support level. I mean, I would just watch this to be strong in the morning. I would just watch it to kind of see if it's strong. So what you look for, something like this, like relative to where it is now, you either look for it to come back down here and take calls down here if we bounce, or you look for it to be strong past where we have already went, right? So if I was to look at this on like a 5-minute or something, I could possibly say above yesterday's high. Right, so yesterday's high around right there. All right, and you could say, well, what are you going to target? I could target what was the last place of resistance or last place of support was right here. Okay, so this is on a 5-minute. Last place of support was right here, so it's going to come back up here and retest possibly. All right, so that's 68 to 69. Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy how I just line it up. 68 to 69. Close around there. Of course, it ain't perfect, but that's kind of what you're looking at. All right. So if it breaks above here, if it needs to break and retest or give you a pattern above, this is kind of what you look at for your entry if it holds. You want to see it hold that. You could possibly look for it to come up here, but you got to also keep in mind on the daily, it is crazy oversold. So I mean, you could have a bigger bounce than that. XYZ probably gonna look a lot of the same. So it's near a place you might expect it to bounce. And it does have actually has a gap up to 62. So if this becomes strong, right around there is where the gap would fill, because you can tell because this is where it closed and it opened down here. All right, at this point you would have this high of day is right around here. So you got like 61.13. And I'm just gonna put yesterday high because by the time we look at this in the morning, it's gonna be yesterday. All right. So that's gonna be yesterday's high, which is today's high, but previous session. And fills the gap at 62. But you gotta keep in mind, for one, you got bullish divergence. Okay. So you could continue up. You do have bullish divergence there. For this play. But that would be the first place that I would kind of target. And if you think that $1 isn't enough to make some money on Square, you're insane. All right, you can definitely make some money on a dollar and a half move on SQ and PayPal. You could definitely make that. So that could be a day trade above that point. Another one, SPY. You kind of just gotta watch and see what SPY does, because SPY has shown you that it has the ability to be very, very volatile. So SPY could come right back down, come mess around here at these lows again, or we could push right back up. If SPY happens to get back above 586, I think SPY is probably going to continue up and maybe go and retest 600 again. I would expect that. Same thing with QQQ. Let's see. We know Tesla is interesting. You really can't short it again until it gets down to 264, or if you're looking for a place to take it short as far as upside, it does have upside to about 300 again. So Tesla does have some upside possibly. And of course, don't forget about DDOG. All right, so above 118, I'm expecting a really nice move on DDOG. I'm either gonna make a lot of money on this or I'm gonna get faded out. I'm going to tell you now, it's probably gonna be a $500+ trade, or it's gonna be a fake out. So I might even enter this, try to get in early on it, to catch the pop. So we'll see, but I do expect a nice move on here, especially above 118. Look at this. It's got some crazy bullish divergence here. Crazy bullish divergence. And it's between these two key levels. So it looks really, really good. CrowdStrike had earnings. Let's see what they end up doing. Ooh, they end up coming down, actually. All right, so I need to look at the numbers on CrowdStrike. But even CrowdStrike looks like it might be coming down to a potential support. So right around, let's make our box again. Up in here, I'm going to extend this to the left a little bit. See, up in here, every time it was getting up in here, it was bouncing. Right, so that's still about $13 away. So it's still a little bit away, but up in here could be a potential buy spot for a CrowdStrike. So, we just gotta just be aware of stuff like that. Just be aware of it. Looks really, really good though. And of course, another downside play we gotta watch. Gotta watch out for HD. Be aware of HD. HD does have some weird contracts. Right? They do move pretty weird. At times, and always be aware of what you're getting in at. HD is known for having they're known for having some crazy spreads, right? So let me see if I can find HD here. Let me look for HD. Options on HD. As far as a weekly, Yeah, for instance, if you look at a weekly on HD, I'm looking at it from Webull here, but a 380 put has a bid of 299 and a ask of 425. So the spread is crazy wide on that one. Even a 375 put, the bid is 188 and the ask is 238. Right, so a $50 spread. Right, you gotta be super careful trading these things, man. Because you get in at the bid. You get in at the ask, and you're gonna be down quite a bit, especially if you grab multiple contracts. Even the next week contracts, a 375 put will run you about maybe 520, 530. But the spread is 485 to 585, so a $100 spread. So for instance, if you were to get in at 585 and you was to get in with, let's say, 2 contracts, right? And let's say that the actual price of this is 520, you will automatically be down $130. Okay? So always watch the bid and the ask for certain stocks. Now, stocks like Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, you really never have to worry about the bid and ask because so many people trade options on it. It's just really when you kind of get to the stocks like this that can start to kind of look weird. So maybe we won't trade that one. I don't want to put nobody in danger of not paying attention. Let's see. You got low right here. Had some bullish divergence, but they already popped, so I wouldn't watch them at all. You got Starbucks, who this type of setup usually doesn't end well. This setup could possibly be decent for some puts if it continues downward. Okay, that could be interesting. This could be interesting, especially if we continue to trickle down. Starbucks could be very interesting. I could see an instance where Starbucks falls off a cliff. I could see that. All right, and this is also, I'm giving y'all a lot of game, man. Y'all put this stuff in your bag. Please drop a like. Share this, please. I'm giving y'all a lot of game right here. Here's another pattern, okay? So this pattern right here is called bearish divergence, okay? So what is bearish divergence? Bearish divergence is when you have the stock price making higher highs, but the RSI is making lower highs. Y'all see that? Y'all see my RSI coming down while my stock price is going up? This is usually a recipe for disaster. All right. So that's going to be interesting. Maybe I could possibly even look at some long dated puts on this. We'll see. Starbucks could be one that surprises you. Starbucks could be one that surprises you. Let me see, what do the contracts look like on Starbucks here? They're probably cheap. SBUX, Starbucks. Okay, so some weeklies are gonna cost, weeklies are very cheap. If you get next week, you can get a very good, even if you go a few weeks out, a month out on a put, you can get a 112 put for 112 put, you get that for $350. Starbucks could be decent for puts. I'll definitely be looking at that. I'll be watching that in the morning. Put that in my notes. Watch Starbucks in the morning. Starbucks could be decent tomorrow. Definitely gonna be watching that. AI, everything AI has been getting killed. No setup, not a setup, kind of just falling. If we clear off everything here, I don't know. RSI is below 30, but not really a setup, kind of just falling down. You expect it to bounce up in here, but I'm not sure. It's very weak. I'll say that. Very weak. Costco. Costco. So Costco, this is a bull flag right here, folks. That's definitely a bull flag. So Costco is bull flagging, but I mean, for it to break out, you needed to try to break out again. You definitely would need it back above 156, 155. So you need it to definitely be higher than what it is now. You're about $20 away from the breakout on there, but I mean that's to be expected because the length of the pole here, this thing ran all the way from 929 all the way to 1074. That's a crazy run. It's a crazy run in a short amount of time. So yeah, that looks good. It's pretty decent. It's just not ready yet. I did not see Starbucks. Starbucks has intrigued me, man. This setup usually does not end well. I'm telling y'all. That type of setup usually doesn't end well. And it will only take 1 or 2 bad days for it to really come back down here. You one news drop away from it coming back down for real. ZS, you said their earnings are tomorrow. What they look like? Consolidating. Alright, cool. Zoom, what the Zoom look like? Haven't watched that in a minute. Zoom has had a dip. Okay, so Zoom has came back down to the 200 MA as well. So a lot of things are just testing the 200 MA here. So we gotta see. We don't know. But it's definitely gonna be interesting, y'all. Yeah, we've hit the hour mark. So, want to hop on here for a little bit and kind of share some things with y'all, show you guys how I kind of view charting and how I get ready for the day, right? So with this, I've found quite a few possible plays, but in the morning, you kind of have to go through and see, what is near levels or did anything have news or something like that. It's another step to the process, but this is a part of my process. The most time that I spend trading is in preparation, right? So I spend hours a day studying charts. I doubt that any of you on here study charts as much as I do. If you do, then I applaud you. But I spend hours a day studying this stuff. So I hope that you guys are able to take something away from this. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also you can join the free version of the Discord with the link in the description. Make sure you follow on YouTube. As well as Instagram. And I appreciate y'all, man. I hope you learned something. If you did learn something, drop it in the comments. And we're going to do this again soon. I'm going to try to do this at least a couple times a week. So I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all soon. Peace, y'all.